Hello friends, this is Nick from NOB Solutions, and today I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot Active Directory replication issues on Windows Server 2012 R2. First, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I want to thank you for the support from the past few months, from the past year. I want to wish you all the success, all the happiness in the brand new 2016 year, and to have less issues than before. So let's dig into the video. In this video I'm going to show you how the long vacation on my domain controllers are equal to replication not working, or DCs not able to talk to each other. So after powering on my DCs after a month of vacation, I noticed that my first domain controller was not replicating. It showed a lot of errors, so I decided to make a video about it and show you how I'm going to handle this situation. And what I've initially thought it would be best to do is to demote the DC01. So I tried a graceful demotion, I tried a forceful demotion, but unfortunately, as you will be able to see in my video, I was not able to demote my DC. And what I had to do is I had to reset the computer account to for my DC. After that, the replication started working once again, but the demotion was already in place and my DC was not working properly. So what I did next is I fully performed a graceful demotion, and after that I've checked if any metadata cleanup was needed. So the best way for me, I recommend to you doing is check and perform the metadata cleanup from the graphical interface using Active Directory users and computers, DNS, Active Directory sites and services. In there you can look and you can find if there are any old records, any stale records for your demoted DC if you made the forceful demotion. Of course, you can use the NTDS util with metadata cleanup switch to do it, but that way, from my past experience, it did not successfully remove all the stale records for the DC, and I had to again manually do it from the graphical interface. So at the end, if you still experience any issues with promoting your DC, you can always use the etc edit to remove it from your Active Directory partitions if there are any records for your DC there. So I'm going to proceed next with promoting my DC01, and I'm going to check the replication, check everything after the promotion using repadmin and dcdiac commands, and I'm going to make sure that my Active Directory sites and services are as they should be. So let's start with the demonstration. I'm going to start by logging into my first domain controller with my administrator account, and I'm going to work on both the first and the second one today. So I'm going to log into the second one as well so it can fully load. And during the holiday season, where I was not able to power on my servers and my virtual machines, unfortunately when I did that today, I noticed that my first domain controller was not able to talk to my second one during more than a month, and unfortunately it stopped replicating information from Active Directory, and when I try to do it today, it's not functioning properly. So let me show you. When I try to open the DNS server, which is running on the on my first DC, it's showing that I don't have the permissions, I don't have the access, which is denied. So it's not able to open the DNS. So when I try to open the Active Directory modules, it's just they are there, but they are not updating properly, unfortunately. So when I check the replication between my two servers, it's not functioning properly. Let me show you. it's saying that it's not able to contact my second DC because of the DNS lookup failure. When I run DC diac, let me show you. There are a lot of errors which prevent my server to advertise itself as a domain controller, which is not cool. So let me show you. You can see that the Kerberos has lost the ticket information, and currently is not able to authenticate that this server is a domain controller, and it's not able to replicate any information. So this is a good way for me to show you what you can do if you have such an issue when the replication between the domain controllers stopped for more than the configured time for the Kerberos ticket to work. Then it loses the authentication for the Active Directory database, and it stops working and functioning properly. So I'm going to show you how you can fix that, which is the best way to do it. It happened to me in the past, so I had to do it, and most probably most of you will or were able to see and were able to figure out how to do it. So the best way for me to do this is to demote my first domain controller and leave my second domain controller to hold the nlblab.com domain. I'm going to, if you remember before, I've switched the FSMO roles to my second DC, so let me show you. Let dom query FSMO. And my second DC is working properly. I'm able to see the DNS zone for the NLB lab. Everything is there, all the records are there regarding my machines, so I would assume that would be best for me to proceed with demoting my DC01 and re-promoting it again. So you can see that all my FSMO roles are currently residing on DC02. If, for example, my DC01 was not working at all and any FSMO roles were still on it, I would have to seize the roles, because I'm pretty sure that I won't be able to transfer them gracefully, and I would have to seize them all. So let's start with demoting DC01, and after that we're going to perform a cleanup in my Active Directory. I'll show you a few ways that you can do it, but I think the most fast and the most graceful way would be just to go ahead and clean everything related to DC01 from the Active Directory using the modules instead of using commands like ntdsutil. So let's start with demoting the DC right now. So I'm going to click on Manage and remove roles and features and click Next. I want to do it on NLB DC01, click Next, and I'm going to deselect Active Directory domain services. And so now after I select this option, it will say that the server is still a domain controller, so first I would need to demote that. If you remember from the video how to demote a domain controller, this is the message that you will receive. So I'm going to click on demoting. Okay, I'm going to use my NLB admin user to demote it. I'm going to click Next. And it will say that this server is a DNS server which is not working as I showed you, and a global catalog. So I need to select the option to proceed with removal and click Next. I'm going to specify the new administrator password, even though the server will remain in my domain. Just in case, I'm going to set a password for my local administrator. Okay, next. Okay, here you'll be able to see the script. It's going to forcefully demote my domain controller, and I'm going to click demote. Okay, I can see that the normal demotion is not able to fully demote my server, so that means that I'll have to do a force remote on my server, which I told you guys the connection between my first DC and my second DC, for some reason, well, it failed because they were not able to talk for more than a month, so I'll have to do a forceful demote on my server. So let's do it right now. We can do this from the same way that we tried to do it gracefully. Let me deselect that and remove demote. But this time, instead of using only credentials, I'm going to select the option to force the removal of this domain controller. So I'm going to, and it will warn me that I will need to do a metadata cleanup manually after the removal. I understand that, and as I said, I'm going to show you how you can do it. So let me click next to this message. I'm going to proceed with the removal, and again specify the password for my local admin. I'm going to click next. Let me view the script once again. This time, instead of only force true, it's going to do a force removal true script. So let's do this. Let's demote the DC. So I faced another error showing that it's not able to demote my domain controller, so I'm going to try a fix to see if that would help me to demote it. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my services. I'm going to find my KDC. Okay, service, and I'm going to stop it. Let me disable that as well, and I'm going to restart my server. And after the restart, I'm going to proceed with resetting the password for the DC and see for the computer account and see if that would work. So let's see if that would help me to demote my server once again. So I'm going to log into my server once again after the restart. I'm going to open a PowerShell or command prompt as an administrator, and I'm going to write the following: net dom reset password server NLB DC01 user NLB lab, and then NLB admin, and then password, and then the password. Let me pause just to set the password. Okay, after executing the command, it said that the machine account password for the local machine has been successfully reset. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to return the service back to automatic and restart the server once again. Let's see what will happen after that. Okay, and let's just shut down once again. I'm going to pause the video once again so I can so you don't have to wait for the server to restart. After that we are going to check it. So after my server is up and running again, I'm going to log into it with my NLB admin, and let's see. Okay. Okay, for some reason my server was demoted as far as I can see. Let me just see. Let me open the DCDAC. It's still showing a lot of errors, so let me try to remove the Active Directory domain services once again. Okay, I'm going to demote. After resetting the local computer account, let's see if we'll be able to demote it gracefully. Okay, next going to proceed with removal. Again, specify a password. Okay, demote. Okay, this time I think it's going to fully demote my DC. I'm going to pause the video here so you don't have to see the whole process of demoting. Okay, after the demote completed successfully, the server is going to restart. You can see the Active Directory domain controller was successfully demoted. So after the restart, I'm going to proceed with uninstalling the Active Directory domain services. So let's just wait for the server to boot up once again. Okay, now I'm going to log back in with my domain admin account. Just to inform you that when I've reset the password for the local computer account for the domain controller, actually the replication started to work again. But unfortunately, I think my domain controller was partially demoted, partially not. So the best way for me to do it is just to fully demote. But if you experience such issues when your DC is not working, you can try the method of just resetting the account for the server, the computer account, and see if that would help you. But I'm going to proceed with completely uninstalling the Active Directory domain services from this server. And while this is happening, I'm going to switch over to my second domain controller and just verify that okay, the removal is in progress. I'm going to switch over to my second DC and just verify that there are no leftovers from my first domain controller. Let me see. yeah, it's gone from Active Directory domain controllers. Now it should be only a member server. There it is. So the graceful demolition of the domain controller helped a lot. If the domain controller was not able to demote gracefully, and the force removal was needed, I would have to go ahead and just delete the computer account from here. It will detect that the server is a global catalog, and it will ask me to perform a metadata cleanup by itself, which is really better than the method of doing a metadata cleanup from the NTDS util. So if you experience problems with domain controller which are not able to replicate with others, and when the server was offline for more than few months, I assume that force removal will be needed, and then on a good domain controller you will have to do the metadata cleanup. Just do it from the Active Directory users and computers, and from the Active Directory, Active Directory sites and services. In here, when you open the sites and services, you can locate where exactly is the DC, and if there are any links that are left behind by it. The third one that you need to check is the DNS. You need to check if there are any leftovers from the first DC, and just remove them manually. So yeah, sites and services here, you can see that I have the main office and servers NOB DC01, but there are no links. Let me show you in the branch. DC02, there is the NTDS settings, but there are no links connecting to DC01 to replicate the information, so that's good. So the removal was complete. I'm going to close that, and I'm going to restart my server once again. Okay, I'm going to restart so it can complete. Now that my server is up and running once again, I'm going to log into it. This is a member server of my domain, so I'm going to use my domain admin credentials. And from here, I'm going to re-promote the server once again to a domain controller, so I can be sure that everything is fine with it. So I'm going to add, let me see, okay, I'm going to add roles and features, and I'm going to add them on my first domain controller, which is not at the moment. So I'm going to add the features. I'm going to click next, and install. I'm going to wait for the process to finish, and after that I'm going to re-promote it to DC. So I'm going to pause the video until the installation is complete, and I'm going to proceed after that with the promotion. Okay, the wizard finished successfully, and I'm going to proceed with promote the server to a DC. I'm going to add the domain controller to an existing domain, which is noblab.com, with the current credentials. I'm going to click next. It's going to proceed with the checks that are required for it to fully promote without any errors, and I'm going to set the SRM password that I would need if something happens with it. I'm going to click next, and if you see here, it's currently going to set my DC in the main office because it's detecting that the subnet for my domain controller is the same as the subnet for this DC. Let me show you. So if I open my properties, you will see that it's currently residing in the 10.0.0.0 network, and my sites and services, if I go to my second one, are configured for there it is, the subnets. 10.0.0 is currently linked for my main office, so that's why it automatically detects that the server is in the main office. So I'm going to click next, and once again next, And I'm going to replicate from any domain controller. I have only one at the moment, so I'm going to click next. Save the database, the log files and the sysvols on the default location, and you can view the script. It's really simple. Okay, next. And it's going to start with installing and promoting my DC. Is going to replicate the information. So after this wizard is complete, my DC01 should be fully functional and operating. So I'm going to, oh, actually it happened really fast. So this is the prerequisite check, and I'm going to install now. So it's going to show the warning messages, but there are no critical errors that will prevent me from promoting my DC. So yeah, I'm going to pause the video, and after the replication, the initial replication and the promotion is done, we're going to proceed with the final checks to see if the replication between the DCs is up and running fine. Okay, so the promotion finished successfully, and it will restart the server as it's supposed to do, and the server was successfully configured as a domain controller, which is good for me to see. So I'm going to wait for the server to restart, and we're going to proceed from there. Okay, the server is almost done booting up the operating system, and now it's going to start all the Active Directory database services, everything for it. Okay, it's done, so let's log into it with my domain admin account. So if while this is loading up, if I switch to my second DC and go in my Active Directory, you can see that under computers I have the NLB DC01 as a member server, but if I refresh, it should appear in the domain controllers once again. There it is. So it's a global catalog, is detected as a global catalog. And let me refresh the sites and services once again. I don't have any links currently linking my two DCs, so let me refresh that page once again. There is an automatically generated link to my first DC. Here, if I refresh once again, it will create the NTDS settings for me, and at the moment there are no links currently to the second DC, but I assume that would appear automatically, so we'll have to just wait for the replication to fully occur. Let's see. Okay, I can see that the replication to my second DC is successful, and it happened today, a minute ago. Let me open the DNS console. This time it opens without any errors, without saying that it's not able to contact the second DC. Let me open the sites and services and see how it looks from here. The thing is that I'll have to wait for the DCs to talk for a short time before leaving like that, before trying to create, because at the moment I don't see the automatic link that should be created for my NLB DC01 for the replication, but I can see that the automatically generated link from DC0 for DC02 from DC01 is created. So I'm going to leave the DCs to talk for a short period of time, so they can fully replicate the information for my domain, and I'm going to check to see the final results with my DC diagnostics. Okay, as I said, after a short period of time, the link to my to my first domain controller automatically appeared, and it will pull information from my DC02, which is great, and I can force a replication now. I can check the replication status. Okay, everything is successful, it's able to replicate, and it happened as I forced the replication, which is great for me. I can check the replication summary. The information for the delta will disappear later because there shouldn't be any issues, but the DCs just need more time to talk about it. So let me refresh that here. Here the replication still did not occurred, so let me pull the information from DC01 to force it. Let me refresh that page. There it is, the automatically generated link from DC02, which looks great as well. The replication on my second DC also seems to be good. Let me check the summary. There it is now. All the replication is occurring according to the way that I want it. The last one was from DC01 was from before 24 seconds, and from DC02 from 1 minute. So it looks good, guys. The motion and the repromotion was successful. Let me open my Active Directory users and computers. There is my domain with all my computer security groups and all my accounts. So this is how you can solve issues when you have issues with your domain controllers, when domain controller is not able to talk to other DCs in your domain. Well, what you can do is you can just go ahead and demote this DC and re-promote it again. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, you can always share it and subscribe to my channel so I can release new interesting things for you, and so you can learn from them and be a better IT. So thank you very much for viewing, and see you soon.